why we can't have you walking down there. And we had to arrest somebody for trespassing. And so if we want to keep doing this and slowing it down, keep doing that. Do a Freedom of Information Act and figure out who that person is. Tell that story. Knock it off.
So the police chief down in Maui, he keeps getting caught in lie after lie after lie. It's like every time he opens his mouth, he contradicts himself. And I know that at this point, the whole world knows about the roadblocks that happened down in Maui. If you have looked into this story at all, then there's no way that you missed the fact that law enforcement put up roadblocks and blocked people from escaping and turned their cars around and made them ride into the fire. But what a lot of people don't realize is that early on in this story, early on in this situation, the police chief was denying that any of this ever happened. The police chief lied and said that there were no roadblocks. And then the police chief started, attacking YouTubers and social media content creators. He claimed that me and everyone else, we're all just lying. We're all lying about the roadblocks. He said that no one should believe anything that we are saying online, and that people should only believe the information provided to them directly from the police chief or the mayor or other forms of government. So he's been lying this entire time. But of course, the people of Maui, they've been speaking out. We have all of these firsthand accounts, all of this testimony. We got video and photographic evidence that these roadblocks were very much real, and that these roadblocks were put in place, and that these roadblocks did stop people from escaping. We know all of that for a fact now. And now the police chief is changing his story once again. And he's like, okay, well, there were roadblocks, but not here and not there. There weren't as many as you think. And we had to do this because of downed power lines and because of this. But my thing is this. Regardless of what excuse he makes, why did you lie about it in the first place? Obviously, you thought that you could lie and get away with it. I don't know what it is. I'm thinking that maybe because they're down in Hawaii, they think that they can control this information. I think that they can block information from getting out of Maui. I think that they were confident that they could stop a lot of this information from spreading and reaching the mainland. What goes down in Hawaii is what goes down in Hawaii. In their favor, it benefits them that a lot of the people down in Lahaina, they don't have cell service. There's no cell phone service still. A lot of people are still without power. People are having to hike up mountains and hills and stuff just to send off a text message. There's airplanes flying overhead delivering them messages from loudspeakers. Some really weird stuff. So I think that these people were counting on, controlling the narrative and stopping the flow of information. But that obviously didn't work. We got people like me and people like you, and we're out here spreading this information as much as we possibly can. So I think that they planned on having better control over this situation. I think that their plan was to block a lot of this info from ever getting out there. But once this info got out there and started spreading, then they had to realize that they had to tell the truth and change their stories. But now, luckily, there's even more video and photographic evidence that these roadblocks were indeed put in place, which we already know. We've already seen them. We've already heard from the people of Lahaina and Maui. We know for a fact that they were put in place, but now we have even more evidence. And this evidence suggests that there may have been even more roadblocks than what we originally knew about. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and roll this clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Bound was shut down during the height of the evacuation for over 2 hours. Downed power lines entangled these cars on Honopilani Highway near Kapunakea, 1 block north of Lahaina Gateway. This man at 2:53 p.m. August 8th is unsure if the lines are energized and removes the power line from his SUV using a branch.
Here a while.
Videos shot by Travis Miller shortly after he goes in and out of Safeway at 3 p.m. show northbound lanes then shut down. This video shows no cars on the blocked-off highway still 5:24 p.m., 2.5 hours later, when Debbie Schultz-Peterson shot this video. Miller's video documented the lane closure during that time. He says police directed traffic down Keawe Street into the cannery.
And either went out the backside on the front street. I could see that everyone was blocked, so I went out and I came this way, and I got under the power line.
Though we are not crossing the barricade, we're told we cannot film here.
You can go somewhere else, but you guys are not allowed here.
Big cloud of black smoke past the window.
Before 4:30 p.m., Chantal Katnak is on the other side of the road closure, trying to get to the highway north from the vicinity of the bypass.
There was only one cop in that area where we were at, blocking for us to go to Keawe Street.
She and her son Keanu can't even get down to the cannery. She follows a line of cars, taking a residential back road north, leading through Waikuli. She detours to Old Stewart Road, which eventually becomes a dirt residential street. However, the bypass is right behind her, only it's closed. But there's more. Those trying to exit the middle of town from Lahaina Luna are also obstructed, heading southbound. Before 3:30 p.m., Amanda Cassidy is among the early evacuees.
Anything could happen at any second, and I know that every second counts in those moments.
She leaves Lahaina Luna Makai of the bypass, but in this photo, she says when she reaches Lahaina Luna Road and the highway, it's blocked off by an officer, not just to the north, but south as well. And that's only part of the story. This investigation will continue when we look at the lane closures for those heading south of town. Reporting from Lahaina Luna Road, Jeremy Lee, KITV4 Island News.
So it looks like there may have been even more roadblocks than what we originally thought, which makes this situation even worse. But my main takeaway from this clip was the power lines. People were driving their cars, getting caught in power lines, and nothing happened. It's almost as if the power lines weren't active. It's almost as if Hawaiian Electric was telling the truth, and they cut the power off to this area before the fires. Now, I would never suggest that anyone try this at home, but in the clip, you literally see people hopping out their cars and removing power lines from their vehicle. So I know that's dangerous, but it's also dangerous to burn to death in a fire. So I don't think these downed power lines can be used as an excuse. If random people in their trucks can drive through, remove the power lines themselves and keep going, then surely everyone else could as well. I just feel like some type of first responder, someone, should have been out there clearing the road of these power lines so people can't escape, as opposed to blocking people from escaping while using these power lines as an excuse. But we really have to pay attention here. Obviously, I'm not there. Obviously, I would not want to have to find out for myself. But it looks to me like these power lines weren't posing the threat that they claim they were. I get the power lines are dangerous. Don't get me wrong. I would never deny that. But you have to understand, they're claiming that these power lines caused the fire. Whereas the electric company, they're claiming they cut the power lines off 6 hours before the fire. From these clips, it looks like the power lines were cut off. From these clips, it looks like it wouldn't have been that difficult to remove some of these power lines from the road so people can drive through. That's just my opinion, though. You let me know what you think down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.